Hey everybody, this is your girl Lanay. I wanted to make a video about my personal fitness journey. I was hoping that this could help someone get started with their journey or continue on and just know that there are ups and downs, but as long as you keep going that you will be okay. It took a lot for me to get to this point where I'm comfortable to even share my story. So there's two major events that happened to me so far that really impacted how I feel about fitness and living a more healthier lifestyle. But before I start talking about those things, let me start from the beginning. I started playing basketball when I was in first grade. I played soccer a little bit before then, but basketball was my sport. I loved playing basketball. Started when I was really young, had friends that played basketball. We were always playing basketball in the gym. We were playing games. We were playing basketball games in the summer, during school time. It was our lives. And I started playing first grade, and then I didn't stop playing until I was a sophomore in college. But during that entire time I'm playing basketball, there was a couple things that really got in the way. Although I was really passionate and I was really into basketball, I wasn't really open to trying different things. I would have never tried dancing while playing basketball. Basketball players don't dance. Or I would try something and then just write it off because it wasn't basketball. So as much as I love playing it, it did impact me from thinking that there's other things besides basketball that I could do. And it also made me not be thinking more about outside of what can I do to stay physically active, because there's so many different things, but I was just so focused on basketball. And another issue I had while playing basketball is that it didn't really give me an opportunity to actually learn what else to do to stay physically active. So like I said, I wasn't open to it. And then it really didn't teach me what other things I could be doing. I tried softball one year and didn't really like that. And I think it was more because it wasn't basketball. But then I also tore my ACL and I couldn't be a catcher anymore because it hurt my knees. But I really didn't want to do softball. I didn't really want to do volleyball. And those kind of things now, looking back, were fun. It wasn't basketball, and I wasn't really open to doing anything like that. So I stopped playing basketball my sophomore year of college, mainly because it was not fun anymore. Like, I did not enjoy it. It was more like a job, and when it becomes a job, it left me. Like, I was not passionate about it anymore. I just decided, well, I'll become a coach or whatever. So that same year was my last year, because I went to a community college and actually played there. I had to switch my major. My main major was like kinesiology, and my goal was to originally be either an athletic trainer or a physical therapist, one of those two. But I was missing a class or something, so they told me I can switch it to something like PE. And I said, oh, okay, as long as I graduate, as long as I can go on to my 4-year university, then I can, switch it back if I need to. So once I did that switch, and then I went to the university, and this is part of the first reason why I got started on this fitness journey. Was because I stayed with the PE major. And so once I got into the program and everything, it was really fun. I really enjoyed it. And I was like, do I really want to be a physical therapist? Do I really want to be an athletic trainer? Let me just stick to being a PE teacher, because it's a lot more fun. And I was able to play all these different sports. I was able to see other people who enjoy playing sports. Again, basketball was my main sport, but I was more open at this point in my life to really want to try different things, different sports. And I was really good at a lot of things. And just learning how to teach other people how to play these sports really opened my eyes. Like, oh, there's so many different things that people can do to stay active. And once I had that mindset, it's just like, oh, now if I'm telling other people that I need to do this, or if I'm telling other people that you need to stay active, I should be active too. So that's when I started to really try to look around and see, like, oh, what are other people doing? I had a friend who started doing Zumba, and so she invited me to a class. And the first time I went to Zumba, I was in the back and everyone else was getting it, and I was just sitting there like, what is going on? I honestly did not enjoy that class. I was not keeping up with everybody. I was just, you know, looking lost the entire time. So after that class, I just remember telling my friend, don't invite me again. Like, I'm not going to Zumba anymore. And so that was that. Right after that, in that time frame, I was still in school. My dad passed away. My dad passed away from basically cardiac arrest, but it had a lot to do with his diabetes. And around that time, he was in and out of the hospital, and the last time he ended up in the hospital was the time that he passed away. And we really thought he was going to come back home, and then we were talking whatever, but he did not. And so that really impacted me, because in a way, he did not take care of himself. Like I said, he was a diabetic. He was going through a lot of different personal things, but just him not taking care of himself in the way where he should have, you know, working out, watching what he eats, doing different things. He wasn't really doing all that. So just seeing him and what happened to him really impacted me. And that's the second thing that really impacted me and made me want to get serious about my own health. Because not only did my dad had diabetes, but my grandma on my mom's side has diabetes, and now my younger sister has diabetes. So it really is throughout our family to have diabetes, and I don't want to end up having diabetes at all, because just seeing how my dad was and what he struggled with that, I guess it's called disease or illness, really took a toll on him, and I don't want to have that for my life. And just now seeing my sister the same way, I don't want that for myself. So once my dad passed away, and just how young he was, I believe he was 56 when he passed away. At the time, I was 21. I'm thinking 56 was old, but in reality, it's really young. 56 is really young to pass away, especially the way that he did. So after really grieving and actually processing the death of my dad, it made me really want to get serious about my own health and finding out what are some things that I can do to stay active and to be healthy. Alright, so shortly after my dad passed, I worked at the YMCA during that time. So I was able to go to these different fitness classes. So I saw again that they had Zumba there, and I met with the instructor and I saw what they were doing, and I looked, I'm like, okay, I can do that. I'm probably gonna do that class. So one day I did decide that I was gonna take this Zumba class again. I started in the back corner looking, and I was actually following the teacher. She was doing simple movements that I really enjoyed, and the music was really good, and like I really enjoyed the class. So I made it a habit to take that instructor's class. It was really fun. Started off doing like twice a week and just kept going, and then it became a life. Because I started from the back, I ended up in the front row. She always say, no, you need to come up in the front. You know what you're doing. And I'm like, oh, okay. But it was a real journey from going from the corner to the front rows. So it was something, and I really did enjoy it. I had another friend who was actually a Zumba instructor, and when I told her, I'm like, oh yeah, I've been going to Zumba and everything. And we actually met at school, and we were both taking a dance class, because for PE you have to take this dance class, and where you go and you make up different routines, and you learn different routines, and just a very interesting and fun class. my friend really encouraged me, why don't you just become an instructor? And I just looked at her like, oh no, I don't know if I can do it. And you know, I pondered it for a while, and then eventually I just went to a training and became a Zumba instructor. And that was in 2012. Sounds about right, 2012. So ever since then, it's been a lot of Zumba and doing that, and that's how I became a Zumba instructor. So shortly after I became a Zumba instructor, I graduated from UCO with my bachelor's in physical education and health. Woo woo. And I always wanted to move out of state. I knew where I was in Oklahoma was not for me. So I definitely decided to move somewhere else. I didn't know where, but I had family down in Georgia, in Atlanta to be exact. And so I visited, and I'm like, I can see myself living here. And I found out what I had to do in order to actually be a teacher in Georgia. So it wasn't that bad. I didn't have to take tests over again. So I just decided, what the heck, come down, move to Georgia. That move in my life was very difficult, very humbling experience. I would probably do it very differently now than I did back then. Came down here with not a lot of money saved. Had my car filled with stuff and no job prospect, but I was down here having a grand old time. And it was a very interesting time in my life. But the best thing about this time was that I was able to meet different people and network. And because I didn't have a full-time job, I was able to get a lot of, you know, Zumba jobs. And I was able to sub for different people, or talk to different people, networking. And that really helped me find other people to really connect with as far as fitness goes. So I met with a personal trainer, and she was really cool. We hung out a lot, especially when I got this job at a gym, and I was teaching a Zumba class. I believe it was twice a week. I would go in, and she was teaching classes there too, and she was also a personal trainer. So we really connected. I really got to talk to her, and I took some of her classes. She taught a abs class and like weightlifting, just different types of classes. And outside of that, I would do some different classes with her, or she'll put on events and I would go to those events. So those different things, and it really opened my eyes to, oh, there's so many different things. And that's when I started really getting serious about weightlifting and understanding what are the things I needed to do for my body in order to see the results that I wanted to. And I also learned a little bit about nutrition and some of the things that I needed to do, again, for myself, so that I can see the results that I wanted to see. And so meeting that instructor, or meeting that personal trainer, really helped me become more of an understanding of there's a reason why we do certain things in fitness, so that we can see the results that we want to. And it just gave me a better understanding of the body. Even though I knew a little bit because of my background with PE, just talking to and interacting and being around and doing these different classes really gave me a better understanding of what we need to do in order to see the results that we want. And ultimately, it made me a better instructor. I also went and got my group exercise instructor certification, and that helped because it made me really, again, understand what it is that we need to do in order to see the results that we want to. And from there, it just helped, because I was able to see more and do more and learn more about what it is that we're doing as far as in being an instructor. And so this is probably like around 2014-ish when a lot of different things were happening in my life. Like I said, I came down here, I didn't have a job, didn't have a lot of money, didn't really have anywhere to stay. I was staying with family and things got difficult with that. And you know, once I started actually getting the job that I wanted, everything started to fall in place. But the one thing that really was consistent in my life was working out and my fitness at this moment. It wasn't until I got a job and was really consistent and doing what I was supposed to be doing that really had me to put my personal fitness to the side a little bit and really focus on, okay, what do I need to do in order to make myself a little bit better, or to put myself in a better situation. Once I was able to do that, my fitness stuff started to get back up. Now keep in mind, I was always teaching classes. I was always like lifting weights and in the gym, but it wasn't as much as a priority at this time. It was more like, okay, I need to get my ish together with my life. So a lot of things had to take a back burner. But by 2016, about 2016-ish, things got a lot better for me in my life. So I was able to pick things back up. 2017, got my first house, was able to, so I'm good. Living in it, was able to go to the gym consistently. Met my boyfriend, started doing that, and that's when things started to turn, because although I was still teaching Zumba, my weight was going up, and I don't know why. And then I found out that I had fibroids, and that was part of it. I guess the weight gain, the fibroids, that kind of went with it. And so I had to have surgery, get the fibroids out, and that was in 2019. Since surgery, I decided I'm going to be more consistent, because I was always being active. I've always been a busybody person, but it wouldn't be very consistent. So it'd be 1 week I'm killing it, the next week it dwindles down, and then the following week it's just like, okay, I'm not doing anything, and then it goes back and forth. But I'm always moving, doing different things, always active person, but it's not really focused on fitness, if that makes sense. So like, I would be doing Zumba, but for me, I gotta do a little bit more than just Zumba, and it'd probably be doing Zumba once a week. So ever since surgery, I really focus on being consistent with my workouts. So definitely I wrote everything down, what I wanted to do. My goal was always to work out at least 5 times a week. Those individual workouts that I needed, it can be lifting, it can be Zumba, it can be you know, going for a walk, just doing something 5 times a week. And it really has worked for me. I started this the beginning of 2020, and definitely has helped. I've lost maybe 11 pounds, but I lost a lot of fat. And I mean a lot of fat. Like, I saw pictures of me last year, and then looking at me now, I'm just like, and I'll have to save this for another video, but just knowing that the scale isn't the same as, you know, measuring your waist or doing the measurements, because there's a big difference in that too. So that is pretty much my whole journey. 2 major points in my life: having to switch to being a PE major, and then the death of my dad really got me wanting the 2 major events in my life was the switching my major to PE, and then the death of my dad, that really got me on this journey of, okay, I need to get my ish together as far as my fitness. The last thing I want to leave you guys with is that I want you guys to really focus on how you feel, not so much about how you look. I remember feeling like I was a failure because as an instructor or as a PE teacher, I'm supposed to look a particular way. I'm supposed to look skinny. I'm supposed to look healthy. And I remember feeling that way so many times. But just going through this journey, especially this last year, that feeling has definitely changed. Not only did I change physically, but mentally and emotionally, I'm just feeling more confident in myself. I definitely have more energy, so that's good physically. I'm able to sleep better. But I just feel so much better about myself. And knowing that I'm able to be consistent with my workouts, and it's gonna make me feel better. And that what makes me healthier, not looking like a particular way. And just relieving that pressure from me has made me a much happier person. So just remember that. Just throughout, if you don't listen to anything else I've said, you just la throughout this whole video, but you heard this part, just whenever you're on this journey, remember it's about how you're feeling about you. No matter what anyone else says, no matter what society thinks you should look like because you've been doing X, Y, and Z, you've been doing this diet, you've been doing this, you've been doing that, it doesn't matter. How do you feel about yourself? If you're feeling good in what you've been doing, keep it up. You are what matters. So make sure you remember that. There are ups and downs in every journey. Just keep going. Do not give up. Thank you for joining me today. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.